Buenos dias. We're gonna go to see Chichen Itza right now. We've hired a guide. What was your name?
Walter.
Walte.
Walter.
Walte. So he's gonna be our guide, and we're gonna go see these ruins. These are our first ruins. So, thanks.
Aba Walter. My name is Walter. Ink Aba. Hachkimakin Wolkatala Shimbak Tombelak, Junbo Tik Chichen Itza. Welcome for coming to visit Chichen Itza.
Awesome.
Okay? The question is Bish Ak Aba. What's your name? Bish Ak Aba. Answer Ink Aba. Mateo. My name is Mateo. Ink Aba. Ink Aba. Ink Aba. Yes. Let me help you for your family photo.
So this is in 2007. This became one of the 7 wonders of the world. And you can't climb it anymore because it's so special and it gets so crowded. We came super early so that we didn't have to worry about crowds.
Cameras, give me your cameras. I'm gonna take a photo right here. At this angle.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
And that's the Quetzal
Yes.
bird.
Sounds
Sounds just like that.
sounds like that. Yes. Quetzal.
That's really
One of the question why produce that effect? Sounds bounce off each steps and goes up on top. On top, the wool, it's a little slanted. That's why for the sounds it bounces and comes back and produces that sounds.
So he's been explaining how everything is mathematical. You just heard that clap sound. They did all kinds of things. So on the 2 equinoxes, it shows a serpent coming down based on the shadow. So people like to come on those 2 days a year. Everything is mathematically laid out in perfect squares, and it's set at a perfect degree away from true north, the whole thing, so that it creates certain acoustic and visual effects. And then there's a temple within a temple, so they build them every 160 years or something like that. They rebuild a new temple on top of the old temple because of their cyclical calendar. It's really cool, very intricate.
Go with the grass.
What year?
In 1847.
It was all covered like
Yes.
that, huh?
Let's go with the grass. The start of fixes in 1920. See?
Oh, yeah.
All those temples have been restored. It's considered more or less 50-60%. Both facade is nice, but the third facade and the fourth facade, many stone is missing, many stone is lost. Because the Spanish conquerors arrived in this place, all to the stone is already collapsed, they took and built on houses. Nowadays it's called Hotel Mayan, Hotel Med, Hotel Hacienda Chichen. Let's go with one restaurant. You will see, it looks like a 3 rectangles or looks like a 3 windows. Next level, 3. Only on top you will see 2 pieces. All of them symbolizes 26 pieces plus 26 pieces for the other side, 52. That's the number for the years when both calendars come together. On top, you will see details. Now they get called almenas. One almena in the moment of the Mayan looks like a leather cake. There were 5 pieces per side. All of them 20 pieces. That's the number for the days of both. So that temple symbolizes Mayan. That's why 2007 it's one of the 7 new wonders.
So that door goes in, there's 73 steps that go up a steep thing, but you used to be able to go in there and see it. These snake heads are nice. It may look cool on camera, but it's even cooler in person. This is one of those rare things you do where you're like, this is even better than I was imagining. It's just so amazing. And what days are these?
March 21st.
March
Early
21st?
morning when the sun is rising. Same day when the sun set. You will see that.
So that makes it feel like that. With the sun, it's setting in his lap, basically, right? He's just
Looks
holding
like
it.
it's holding it. Yes.
Yeah, he's
I thought it
holding
was
the sun.
sunrise.
Sunrise. Yes.
Sunrise.
Before pandemia, you arrive one day before. You can buy your ticket and early morning you will see it. But now it's closed. Maybe in the future. We'll see. It's not a coincidence, family.
Yeah.
Before Mayan built a temple, they had to figure out for this special moment.
Yeah.
See, if you see this temple every view, you will see this detail. You are here. These
Oh,
are the
wow.
columns.
1,000
Behind,
columns.
Yes, behind the temple you will see more columns, continue the columns. But look the temple. In this point it's open, in this point it's closed. Because the temple because they found it a special moment when the sun is rising.
Mm.
Imagine that building and also family, you will see the nice evidence for pigments, colors. Look the colors, the original colors.
Yeah.
Used to be painted in different colors. You will see also here the nice evidence. Outside you will see more colors.
Okay.
So we were looking at the details in the columns, which have carved warriors in them and all kinds of things, but they've kind of been weathered out at this point. But there's 1,000 columns or near that around the temple that supported a wood and thatch roof before.
On top it's flat. Symbolizes a stage.
See the body of the snake.
For the nobility people.
It symbolized what?
Stage.
Stage for dancers.
Oh, up on top, huh?
Dancers,
Okay.
Yes.
And they brought
Yes.
it up.
And this is called the what? Chuck?
Chakmur.
Chuck.
Chakmur. Represent the god of the sun.
The god of the sun.
Yes.
So he's the one that holds the sun in his belly over there.
Yeah. So I wanted to show you the details in these carvings. These murals are still pretty intact on this one. It's really pretty. The heads. I'm being here because of the wind, but there's a panel across here with jaguars etched into it in the stone. And you can see the old pigment, the old red that would have plastered or stained the temple, that reddish orange color. And the serpent heads that are on everything. Oh, so this is the ball field, the stadium to play that ancient Mayan game. It's the oldest. They think it's the oldest form of ball. They had to use sticks or forearms to hit a ball up through those hoops, those rings. There's one on each side of the stadium. And the people would have stood up on top to watch.
The best thing is when you see the warriors. Yes, only here in Chichen Itza you will see someone have to die. You will see rockets, and you will see for the wall is so high. Outside, no evidence for people have to die. You will see that in that place offer flower with fruit. The wall is not straight.
So the game was called Poke the Poke, and there were 7 players per side. And here at the big event in Chichen Itza, which was the central temple for all of the temples, someone died at the end, and they don't know why, but in the panels it shows that someone's beheaded. But they had developed a really intricate form of writing and thousands of documents. But when the Spanish came, they burned all of those documents, and so a lot of the meaning behind things is lost, other than the fragments and pieces that they and the books they have been able to find.
Next moment, June 21st, December 21st, when the sun set, sunlight filter through the door, and then you will see the solstice. And the day is long and the night is short. Twice of years. Outside of Chichen Itza, round because the Mayan of the Chichen Itza they able to build a cupola. In that moment, no other couldn't do it. That's why Chichen is considered one of the 7 new wonders of the world because we have honditos. See, houses.
Some are really in disrepair, and others are like this that are kind of still broken, but
Look this detail, it's beautiful. Part of them, it's already collapsed, and then you can see for the first evidence or the first layer, the second, the third.
oh yeah. So a temple built on a temple.
Yes.
Did you go into all of these buildings?
He's telling us how these panels in Uxmal, which we'll go to in another video, they have intricate detailed panels that tell stories and histories in Mayan hieroglyphics, or writing, I guess you could say. It's more of a hieroglyphic like Egyptians with an alphabet, intricate language that they're restoring. They're exposing all those details that are in this stone.
You will see here. Look this detail. Mask symbolizes eyes. Door symbolizes mouth. Teeth. Yes, it was a big mask. You like a rain. And this is the form. Like this side. The false arch.
He said the Toltec civilization, which is northern Mexico, has connections to the Mayans, and they brought the columns and anything resembling an arch.
One of the reasons.
As we came around this corner, there's a vendor there. And our Mayan guide said, and here we have the temple of Coca-Cola. Which is funny because everybody here in Mexico drinks Coke, and my daughter said out in the Pueblas, we'd see these older ladies just carrying these huge 3-liter bottles of Coke back to their simple homes, and they just drink Coke all day long. Coca-Cola. Just like us. We came back to the Temple of 1,000 Columns, and we're just walking around all the columns. Part of the temple complex didn't seem to have, it sported roofs made out of wood and thatch based on embedded wood in the walls that are high enough. But it doesn't seem to have had like a purpose for rooms or anything. It was more of the temple worship and complex. But it's pretty cool. Just all of these columns. Anyway, I think I'm gonna wrap it up with that, and just say thanks for coming on the field trip. This is a really cool place. we got here early as soon as it opened at 8, and I pre-bought tickets so we didn't have to stand in line. The lines didn't look too bad. We just happened to meet Walter as he came in. He came up to our vehicle and asked if we wanted to, well, his name, I can't remember his Mayan name, but he's on Instagram. Let me pull that card out. Here's his card. He taught us how to kahum, and he was Mayan. Had just a ton of cool stuff to teach us. Had these cool pictures, helped us take really cool pictures, and here's how to say stuff in Mayan. Anyway, but it was a really cool place. So we were here the first 2 hours. It's about 10 something, and right about now the huge buses, the tour groups coming from the resorts in Cancun, which we avoided because we're not interested in that type of stuff. Anyway, they start arriving. It gets crazy. So. It's pretty amazing place. Hope you enjoyed the field trip. You can see the temple through there. The big temple.